Welcome to the Modern Watchman podcast, where faith meets the front lines of culture.
We break down what's happening in the world, what's behind it, and how believers can stand strong in truth.
We're not here to fear the times, we're here to understand them.
Because being watchmen means staying awake, staying ready, and staying grounded in the Word.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to the Modern Watchman podcast with Tom and Wendy.
Hello, how's it going?
So good.
So good. We're preparing for Snowmageddon, our one panic snowstorm of the year,
Panic snowstorm.
where the South panics.
I feel like people are doing pretty good right now. They're not panicking yet.
Oh, I mean,
For how much the weathermen are like warning about this, I don't feel like we're full-blown panic yet, but
it's like lots of people are like talking about it.
lots of people are panicked, okay?
Well,
Lots of people are talking about it. He said like Donald Trump. Lots of people are talking about it.
It's
the biggest
snowstorm.
snowmageddon.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it before it's even happened. Nobody's seen anything like it. So we'll see. We might catch up and do 1,000 podcasts while we're snowed in, because you know what happened? You want to know something miraculous?
Mm-hmm.
This Sunday that we'll be snowed in, because I'm sure church will be canceled because, panic. I have nothing, not one thing on my calendar. Not one thing. Not even like an arbitrary, garbage day, like thing that
Surprise Sunday garbage day.
populates on my phone. I literally scanned backwards to be like, when was the last time in any month there was a day, any day, that had nothing on it? And I couldn't scan back far enough to find such a thing. Can you believe that? So it's almost like God had pre-prepared me to be snowed in.
He went before you and
He went
prepared
before
away.
me and around me and behind me and beside me, all around me. He is in you.
I'm excited to have a day or two. Let's get going.
Let's go. Jump in.
Well, last episode we threatened to talk about Greenland,
We didn't really talk about it too
but
much.
we really didn't get into it, and I just feel like we need to revisit it again. And frankly, I don't know. I don't want to do what I did last episode and just talk about things
Nothing.
other than Greenland.
Everything.
But there's so many things here that surround this that are all connected. But Trump is continuing to press this Greenland issue.
Since yesterday.
Well, I guess it's just like he's getting, I think when he talked about it, at the beginning of his administration, a year ago now, nobody took him.
Happy inauguration anniversary day.
I mean, people did take him seriously, I guess, but it's just not to this degree. Because remember, he flew up there. Or no, he didn't fly up there.
You know
he
who did?
sent J.D. Vance
And Charlie Kirk.
And the son.
His son.
Which son, though?
Don Jr.
Don Jr. Yeah, Don Jr. I was thinking Kushner, Jared Kushner, his son-in-law, but no, it was Don Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Like right away.
That was a pretty quick thing.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to go back and find out, like, who they met with, like what they did there. Was it just kind of PR-ish, or did they actually lay some groundwork back then?
They talked to some Greenlanders.
Yeah, but like, did they talk to super influential Greenlanders? I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. But Europe is getting real uptight about it.
He's going to Davos, like right now. Actually, he had an issue on his plane, I saw.
An issue on his plane?
Yeah,
the plane had an issue, or he had an issue?
The plane had an issue, which when I fly and don't love flying, which just happened, going from Maui into Maui, I think to myself, Donald Trump flies like 2 or 3 times a day, every day. Like, surely I can make it this one day, I think that. I'm like, he never has a problem. And as I'm scrolling through some news just freaking 20 minutes ago, I see Trump has left for Davos, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple articles down, Air Force One is returning to Washington, D.C. It has an issue on the plane. There was an electrical issue. And I thought, literally, I just thought that. I just thought.
And there's way more people wishing for his plane to fall out
I
of the air than
know,
your
than
plane
me.
to fall out of the
People
air.
don't even think about my plane, except the people on the plane. There was one lady that yelled on our plane. She yelped, and my kids thought it was me, but it wasn't. It wasn't me.
I'm so proud of you, honey.
I know. Anyway,
Look
so
how far
he's
you've
headed to
come.
Davos, and what do you think he's going to do there? How's that going to go? Because he's going to see all these guys face to face. You think they're going to talk about
Well,
Greenland a little?
was it a hedge fund or a pension fund today? A European Nordic pension fund dumped $100 million worth of American treasuries today, which is not like I think
they're trying to.
Yeah, did we talk about this where $8 trillion worth of American treasuries are held by EU nations?
Mm-hmm. And if they wanted to get jiggy with it,
they
could start to dump their dollars.
They could dump their treasuries. So part of the issue, so when the Federal Reserve in December announced that they were going to start printing money again, they I believe they lowered interest rates, and they announced
both favorites.
No, I don't think they did it lower in December. I think they chose not to, but they announced
they lowered in what, November?
Yeah, did they? But
they lowered. Well, I should say also, I know that home interest rates dropped below the like into the 5s for the first time in like 4 years.
But that has a lot to do with other things too. Like we've actually seen the it was December 10th. Okay, and they also announced they're injecting $40 billion worth of
that they announced before that, right? Was that the same time?
But
December was a long year. Okay.
The reason for that, though, was that Japan had decided to raise their interest rates while we were lowering interest rates, which caused Japanese investors to want to repatriate their money from U.S. treasuries into Japanese treasuries. We have benefited from the Japanese financial institutions, hedge funds, pension funds, and population buying U.S. treasuries because it was one of the safest investments for a long, long time. And Japan had been artificially suppressing their interest rates intentionally for decades. So it wasn't a very good investment to keep their money in Japan when they could get a higher return in the United States. So when Japan raised their interest rates, and we have been lowering ours most recently, it started to become advantageous to repatriate their money and bring their money back and buy Japanese bonds. So, or treasuries. That happened kind of all at once-ish. And when our treasuries get dumped by other nations, if it's in a large enough amount, it is very inflationary. Like it is very inflationary. So I think the Fed knew they were going to start printing at some point, but I think that there was to some degree a little bit of a panic, and they said, we're doing it right now. Like we have to offset this. And Frank, it's tough because that's inflationary too. However, it's one of those, if there aren't Japanese buyers for our treasuries, the Fed's got to buy them. Do you know what I mean? There's not another buyer out there. So in order to not disturb the market.
No matter how many times you explain this to me, I'm like, no, I don't get it.
Well,
what's a bond? Is it a piece of paper? Do you get a piece of paper?
A United States Treasury is a debt note from the American government. And
like
historically,
have a piece of our debt. That's what it says.
Extremely safe.
It's just so wild.
Because the United States...
This all is make-believe. It just sounds make-believe from the jump.
Debt-based economies are make-believe. You're right.
Okay, but then like why? Like how come I can't go and be like, neighbor, Would you like to buy some of my debt? I will write you a note and it'll be very safe.
And you can.
I can do that.
Nothing's keeping you from doing that. It's just,
wow.
Does your neighbor have the money to lend it to you? And if they have enough money, are you reliable enough? What are they going to lend you the money for?
Well,
like how much?
Yeah, exactly.
What return are they going to want?
So that's what they're getting, is like they are getting
an interest rate.
Yeah. And it's safe because
it's the United States government.
So they're always
the
going to
most
pay.
Stable economy in the world for 70 years.
So okay. I might try that. I might see if my neighbors are into it. Give it a whirl. I didn't know I could. I didn't know I could do that.
Well, there's a lot. I don't know if we want to get into it, but here I go. If you're borrowing or if you're printing debt in your own currency, right, you can print more currency and get yourself
to pay them their interest.
Basically, yeah. Oh. I mean, like Trump even talked about
that's an IOU. That's a car.
Trump talked about
hold on to that one.
Minting a $1 trillion coin. Do you remember this?
Oh, no.
And it's one of those things where like
it's a Trump joke that's
there
is
nothing keeping America from printing $38.5 trillion and paying everyone off. Now, that would be extremely inflationary because it would expand the money supply, right?
That's what's stopping us from doing that.
Well, hear me out. In a form, when you hear people say inflate our way out of debt,
that's what we're doing.
That's fundamentally what we're doing. We're doing it slow enough, or trying to where people don't get too upset about it or catch on to the lie, to the reality that
all right,
when they're printing that money, it is making your money less valuable.
It's wild. Okay. Greenland.
Here we are, not talking about Greenland. I don't know. I'm just fascinated by this whole thing. It's a big deal. We're coming up against our NATO allies, which is really kind of wild.
Yeah, what's that about? Are we going to pull out? Are we going to blow that thing up? Figuratively.
I don't know. I'm curious what people think. If people have any ideas.
Tell me the difference between NATO and the United Nations.
So, North American Treaty Organization is, my understanding of it is, it's more of like a military alliance,
joint aid
in
agreement.
And again, it's the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So it's like Europe and America.
Can't be doing Africa. They're too south.
It's not Africa. The United Nations is the whole world.
Okay. And what do the United Nations do for us?
I mean, not much. I mean, I'm sure someone could make a good argument, but like, it's just like everything we talked about, the pitfalls and pitifulness of humanity these days with the Lahaina fire and things. Well, the UN has become so bureaucratic that like whatever it was supposedly capable of doing at some point, it is a shell of itself. So we have,
and we don't know what it was supposed to be doing.
It's a governmental like legislature, right? It's like a Congress, like in a way.
We all agree to adhere to these
things. It's a world government, right? And yes, we have all sorts of different things we agree upon. We create pacts or, treaties in the UN where we're going to treat certain things this way, or how
all the major, like, which countries are not United Nations countries? Like, do you get invited in? Can you be like, I would like in, hello?
I think everyone can generally go, because I want to say like North Korea goes, or they've been kicked out at times.
Where do you go? There's some
participate.
Clubhouse?
Yeah. Well, they meet in either New York City or what's the place they meet in? I can't remember, in Europe, Brussels or something. I think Belgium.
Okay.
But they've just become defunct. Like You have China and Russia sitting on the Human Rights Commission in the UN. You know, it's stuff like that where it's like the way they've made the rules and had to like accommodate, it's just a joke now in so many ways.
Yeah.
There have been moments in time where UN peacekeeping missions where there was like good things that came out of that, or kind of like atrocities that were kind of stopped. I'm sure someone could point to some accomplishments, but generally speaking, I think it's been a joke, and it is a joke. It's become a joke.
Sure.
If it wasn't before, it definitively is now. And I mean, I guess it's good for countries to have like some sort of relationship and come together and talk about things. I just don't care to give them any authority. And there have been a lot of laws passed, or not a lot of laws, but there's been laws passed that try to like usurp individual nations' sovereignty and try to put the UN above it. Obviously, I'm not for that. Or the
World Health Organization.
Or the International Monetary Fund, or the World
Bank,
or the World Economic Forum. Yeah, so like all that stuff.
It's almost like we want to be unsovereign.
Unsovereign.
Is that how you say that?
I just like you, okay? I think
unsovereign? Ear sovereign?
Sovereign? Sovereign?
Unsovereignable?
I don't know. I don't even have all my thoughts collected here, but
not usually.
Greenland being fought over, there's the mineral rights elements, there's the China-Russia security
Greenland
elements.
Thing is pushing on NATO, like that's causing a stir in NATO. The fact
so
that
basically,
we're trying to get Greenland.
If we steal a piece of land from Denmark,
we're offering to pay.
Whatever, if they don't want to receive pay, you know what I mean, and we just annex it.
Everything's for sale.
Well, I really don't want to pay for it, you know, kind of thing.
Oh, you just want to take it?
What
does that look like?
I am getting a serious streak of. So here's the thing. If I see what Trump might be doing, and he might be, we talk a lot on this channel or podcast about how the dollar's dying. It is almost a certain death for America if the dollar dies. Like, we will be destroyed, gutted for a period of time, very likely a quarter century or more. I hope that doesn't happen, but it will happen. Right.
Every fiat currency collapses.
Some of the things that I'm seeing Trump doing, I'm going, this is the death throes pre-dollar collapse, where either we're going to reestablish our sovereignty, very likely by force.
That's how we do everything. That's how our dollar is strong, is by force.
Right. And so I get at least two things out of that. One, we are actually as close as we think we might be to that sort of like
dollar problem,
crossing that Rubicon of the dollar death.
The dollar problem, we'll call it.
People call it the global financial reset, the dollar reset, whatever you want to say.
Some people call it the dollar problem.
But the fact that we're taking these actions is also arguably one of our only shots to save the dollar.
Just grow our GDP like crazy by acquiring
that's an element
other
of it.
economies.
Right. To grow our economy
by acquiring others
so drastically,
so quickly.
And there's
brilliant.
Annexing land and unleashing, the economy on it. American
annexing.
Annexing is just is saying that belongs to us now.
Like, do you have to file paperwork?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know.
Like, how do you steal things these days? You just be like, change the maps. It's ours now. Send it around.
Yeah, you call it the Gulf of America, and it's yours.
That's so wild.
But
it really is a big game of Risk, or whatever that is.
It's partly unleashing the economic elements of it, and it's partly standing up a military. It's like starting to actually throw our weight around militarily. That is going to stir the economy too. Now, I am not going to come on here and say I'm for a war economy. I'm not for those things.
However, for unification.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm for direction.
Unification is you got to be careful, because do you want to be unified and end up the next Third Reich Germany that tries to take over the world.
No, Tom.
Okay, I'm just checking because it's not unification over everything. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, no.
Right?
But
So
unification over men and girls' bathrooms kind of thing.
definitely. And it's ironic because there's like a ton of historical evidence that like Hitler was actually rooting out some of the same things. Like Germany went
Don't say
through
that, Tom. People don't want to hear how
Germany
Trump's
went
a Nazi.
through this really like horrible economic time, horrible cultural time, post World War One, and in Adolf Hitler showing up and saying we're going to restore Germany to its greatness, there was that meant a lot of things to the German people. Partly it was reunify Germany because there were different parts that had been broken off, and there were Germanic peoples living in other countries' territory now post World War One. And then it also meant culturally, like they're a very Christian nation, and they had been infiltrated by the gypsies and a lot of, whatever you want to say, eccentric sexualities and, stuff of that nature. And Hitler promised to root all that out and, make them economically strong again. And so I mean, there are parallels, you know what I mean?
Of course.
There is no doubt. And again, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that
Trump
is evil or that America, whatever. But I must try to be a student of history, and you can't argue with it and when it is what it is. But, and frankly, you can also go back and say, yes, like this guy was a bad guy, but we've so painted him in such a dark color that is not accurate. You know what I mean? To make Hitler something more than he was whatever he was, right? Like whatever that we can own that. He can own that.
Nobody is completely evil and no one is completely good.
And I'm not here going, oh, Adolf Hitler was a hero. That's not what I'm saying either.
He certainly started out as a hero of Germany
in many ways, and there are elements that are not properly represented historically. Doesn't make him a good guy or anything like that, but yeah. So one of the ways to save America, to save the dollar, is what I believe we see Trump grab Venezuela, huge natural resources play, huge boot to China and Russia. And now we're going for Greenland. It actually makes me think he's not going to go for Cuba because Cuba doesn't have that same level of strategic importance.
But it's like collapsing.
I mean, I'm not privy to, the things that people in the Oval Office are privy to, but to me, Cuba should just be a part of, like, it should just happen. Maybe it's not the highest priority, but
send it to the maps.
Yeah.
Cuba's ours.
Can we just call it Cumerica?
Yeah.
Cumerica. You know what? I bet if we promise to name it something Trump.
How about Ameriba?
Ameriba. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's better. Something Trump.
Yeah, if we named it something Trump, he'd be all over it. Yeah. Okay.
Trump's little island. It's a nice island.
It's a nice, greatest island. But I think I'm going, are we seeing a play for...
So it's more possibly a play for the dollar. Less, I mean, it's also relevant.
It's an imperial play for global dominance. Like we are trying to reestablish ourselves.
Sure.
And if that's the case, we haven't seen anything yet. We're going to see, didn't he increase the defense spending by 50%?
He did.
Or he proposed it? I don't think he has
proposed it. Correct.
He proposed it, which we all know, Scott Desjardins.
But you were like...
sold out congressman.
I'm not about that. Where I was like, I feel like there's a reasonable argument. Obviously, I don't like increasing spending and we have to decrease spending But if we're going to grow our economy so big, so fast.
Let's print some money and build some bombs. That'll be put to good use.
Right before I met you again and we started dating, and I was like, all the roads lead to, I have to move back into my parents' house because I have so much debt. Might as well go to Europe one more time.
So are you saying like we're going to go to Europe one more time?
I feel like you might as well
World War I was great. World War II is greater.
No.
Let's go to Europe one more time.
No, I'm saying you might as well spend the money to make your military kick butt again so that you can save the dollar with your military.
Well, that might be happening. And I'll say this, if that is happening, this is the beginning of it. We're going to see, and I guess I'm not predicting
what do you
here.
mean we're going to see more imperialistic tendencies?
No, we're going to see massive increases in defense spending, military spending.
Okay.
Department of War spending.
Is that going to be taken from some other place or just
No,
added
we're going to print it. We're going to keep adding to the debt.
Going.
Yeah.
Wow, this sounds like a risky chicken dance.
Risky chicken. Write it down, folks. You heard it here first. A risky chicken dance.
You know, like playing chicken? Chicken.
But the dance threw me off.
No dancing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like we're going to spend and we're going to try to outrun our dollar collapse kind of chicken.
Well, and also like, again, there's just so many variables. We talked about the whole AI stuff that's coming.
We did.
China, I do want to add this. I was thinking about it. I'm like, China, I've been very on the fence about whether China's actually going to do anything about Taiwan because you got to remember the propaganda machine.
Why do they want it?
Hold on. The propaganda machine is constantly telling us that there's some major enemy out there, right? That's, if it's not Iraq, if it's not Afghanistan, if it's not Al-Qaeda, if it's not ISIS, if it's not Iran, if it's not
Putin.
China, if it's not Putin, right? It's like, and I know there's bad people out there that mean us harm. Don't get me, and there's North Korea, but like, you just have to remember that it is very important that the powers that be keep us always just a little bit away from unleashing them if they want to go use some of their bombs that they built. You know what I mean? And it's just a constant, it's the status quo of American like foreign policy and dare I say just like American culture, So I've been very like, China and Taiwan is just another one of those things, that just got to keep people on the edge and know that, you got to keep our military strong, got to keep the budget up because there's any one of 9 different things that want to kill us at any given time. I was reading about the RAM shortage and the chip shortage. Mm-hmm. And RAM is like what makes your computer think fast and stuff.
Not just a goat.
Not just a goat. That's good. Not just a truck.
They can have that.
And there is a shortage of it. It's going to get much worse because all these AI data centers are going to buy it up, and there's only so many places in the world that make it. Okay. Like very few.
Why is that?
I don't know. Well, globalism.
Because
we got into this.
You guys are handling it. No, nobody else needs to do it.
Well, globalism was like, again, it's one of those things. It's in the eye of the beholder. From one set of circumstances, you look at it, it was the greatest thing ever because you found the cheapest, easiest, best, most efficient place to make T-shirts, and then all the T-shirts are made in Bangladesh. You know what I mean? Because they're close to whatever cotton, and you can pay people 9 cents a week. And no, seriously. And then then you have places like Taiwan, and you have an educated, lots of engineers, you have the right population, you have the right this, you have the right that. We're going to concentrate chip making in Taiwan. And of course, at this point, we're in the 90s. We're best of friends with China. We're not best of friends, but like we're American corporate world is flooding China, doing deals, going, oh yeah, I got a union American who makes $40 an hour when you're telling me I can pay $4 a week. Like, so they're building plants in China, and their globalization did a lot of that. So there was a lot of efficiency, economic efficiency for the wealthy corporate America leadership. Obviously, we know what globalization did to Main Street. It brought Walmart, it brought cheap Chinese consumer goods. TVs got a lot cheaper. Like, we benefited from it.
For sure.
At the same time, we lost our jobs, manufacturing,
Sovereignty.
and no, totally. And yes, we gave up a lot of globalization, was a world peace kind of thing. Like, we're going to not have to have conflict anymore. We're going to work all this stuff out in backroom deals amongst the wealthy and figure things out, whatever. And that all sounds great. And again, in some ways, maybe it was for a minute, great to be able to buy a TV for $100 or whatever. However, we are no longer in a globalization. We are reverting from that rapidly, drastically. It's over. And Trump is largely responsible for it. And I'm not upset about it, because there's a lot of things that were not going the right way in that regard. But what we have left is we have this global economy that is fractured into these places. It's like Taiwan's got all the chips because that's where we put them 25 years ago. You know what I mean?
Is that why China wants Taiwan?
100. Well, yes, that is definitively why China wants Taiwan. Now, China also culturally, historically claims it as Chinese Taipei, is what they call it, or Taipei, they might just call it. It's like a state to them. And it's like my Cuba. Okay. All right.
Where Cubans are like, I'm definitely not Tom's.
I know. I'm sorry.
Tom's like,
that was offensive. I want to come sit on your beaches someday. Okay. So Taipei, but that is the value of that. And so I was thinking about this. This is, I'm bringing it around here.
Bring it around.
I was like, in this moment in time where we do not yet have even a fraction of the chip production that we need to have. And I mean, even in Taipei, even in Taiwan. So Taiwan's not enough. We don't have barely any. They're just starting to kind of come online in the United States, and we're a decade away from anything.
How do we just not see this coming? I feel like we're way over our
That's
edge
what
of our
we do.
cliff.
It's human. It's human
Amateur
nature
hour.
to
Self-retardation.
live in the moment, kind of thing. And that's what we've done. But I the more I've thought about it, I dismissed this a lot and thought China will probably just wait for the United States to stumble and fall. When our dollar collapses, they may then take Taiwan. You know what I mean? They'll just wait us out. Because if you study China much, they are long-term, long game players. They are good with 50 years, and 100 years is fine. That's the game they've been playing and winning at with us
We've
for
been
the
living
last
in the
50
moment.
years. Totally. And I'm going, there might be something to this where in the next 5 and 10 years that those chips, that production is both so important to them, but also would be so detrimental to lose to us that they might try something. I don't know. It would be wild. It would be a Pearl Harbor moment.
Yeah, I was like, don't
really
we
and
have
truly.
our whole group out there doing
We
our thing?
do not. I want to say we have only military advisors on
Really?
Taiwan.
I thought we had Navy around it.
Oh, we definitely have Navy around it, but I don't believe we hold a base in Taiwan, if that makes sense. There are not American troops in Taiwan.
We're there. We're ready to roll. We're ready to rumble.
So, yes and no. China's Navy, our Navy is really big. It's very dominant. We have 12 aircraft carriers. China barely got their technically their second one, but their first one that's supposed to be legit. And it probably doesn't hold a candle to ours, but they have one. So we definitely haven't. But China is not in the Mediterranean, is not in the Gulf, is not really much in the Arctic, is not in the Caribbean. You know what I mean? So like
It's
China has to
focused.
worry about the South China Sea.
Yeah.
And they're just huddled up there. Their Navy is quite a bit larger than ours, ship for ship.
Sure.
So when you look at it through that perspective, I mean, they are. So here's the other thing. They have the home field advantage. Taiwan's like, I don't know, 80, 100 miles off the coast.
100.
80 to 100 miles. It's like not that far. It's within missile and rocket range of Chinese mainland. So not only are you dealing with a Navy.
But they wouldn't want to destroy it.
No, but once you destroy the targets you need to destroy, there's nobody to defend it. You just walk on over. And when we have to bring our ships over to defend it, not only are we contending with a Navy that is bigger than ours, but we're contending with their ability to reach our Navy from their mainland, where they have many more resources, many more missiles, many more rockets, you know, and so on. So like,
it's like bait.
I think that, and I've also recently, I know people are going to get tired of it already, been really digging into the Palmer Luckey guy, the Anduril founder, and he speaks about this specifically. And I'm like, yeah, I think he makes a very clear and objective case that if China wants Taiwan, they will take it. They will win. They will win. And the question is, do we, again, between every nuclear power, do we fight it out? So like, what happens if they destroy our Navy? Like in the Pacific, you know, it would, according to him, it would take about 10 years for the United States to rebuild those ships. It would take like 18 months for China to rebuild that many ships. And like, because we talked about it on the last episode, their shipbuilding capacity is 50 to 300 times more than ours, as far as their capability to manufacture ships and put them out to sea. And
crazy.
So like
we need more spending. We need more military spending.
And again, so that bringing it around again, I'm really like, if this is what's happening, when I say this is, if Trump is really taking an approach of we're going full-blown imperialism, we're going to start throwing our muscle around, we're going to grow the economy by grabbing more natural resources, annexing more land, and growing our military, because that's a very like, it's money injected into the economy, even though it's dead. You know, it's, you know, you can employ a lot of people when you're building one B-24 bomber every 63 seconds, you know, that kind of stuff. But if we really are going that direction, the signs you will continue to see, Greenland won't be a flash in the pan. He's going to continue pressing on. I'm guessing there's another one after that. Whatever comes of this, it's not going to end there. There's going to be the next thing,
Alberta.
whatever that is.
Alberta.
It could be Alberta. It could be Cuba.
Iceland.
Who knows? No, I don't think he cares about Iceland. There's really nothing there. Just good people. Leave them alone.
Looks like a great vacation spot.
But we're going to see massive defense spending. He throughout the $1.5 trillion. It's going to be 2.4 or something the year after.
How you feel about that?
It's a very interesting ethical question, because it goes against so much of what I like want, but it is really one of those things where you go, are you convinced that the other option is the loss of the dollar? And do you understand what the ramifications are of that? I'm not saying I understand it fully, but I think I'm a person who's dwelled on it enough, thought about it. I understand it as well as someone can understand it without living through it. I would go so far as to say that. That is so crazy and drastic and nightmarish, so to speak, that it's hard not to root for a way out of it. Now, the way out of it is like so dangerous, so perilous, so many slippery slopes to potentially slide down
risky
into.
Chicken dance, you might say.
It's such a risky chicken dance that I also understand how perilous it is to like put my support there, you know, and say, yes, I am for this.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is all hypothesizing that is what Trump is doing, is pursuing a path to save the dollar, save America, you know, grow our way out of debt.
He's at least seriously acknowledging the problem.
Yeah, I will say, all right, I want to talk about Andrew again.
Okay, but I want to talk about something too.
Oh, then you do it. Go, let's go. I've talked plenty tonight.
Andrew, what is it?
Andrew, which is the Aragon sword. I read all the Tolkien books, but I just don't remember all the details. It was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But they got the contract for, oh shoot, it's like the IVAS system. I forget what it stands for now, but basically it's like this super soldier system where it's a helmet with a heads-up display. They've been working on this for decades. The military's been trying to get this like integration, target integration, friendly fire integration stuff, and we're finally at a point, mostly due to the software capabilities of artificial intelligence, and the capabilities of these things are like, we're entering an age that is so incredible, it is terrifying.
Right.
And what it's going to do, so Palmer Luckey, the founder of this company, was talking about what it's going to do. Their completed prototype, where it won't be in full production, but they will have a working, you know, piece of equipment this March, so 2 months from now, it's going to tie with sensors everybody together. So not only the troops,
whole military force in an area.
So the troops on the battlefield in this spot in front of us here, and then the troops that are 3 miles or even 400 yards over to the right, and even the drone that's up above. And so
you won't shoot at each other?
No, it's way more than that. If the soldier on one side that can see the back of a building that this soldier over here can't see, and it identifies a target, like a person, that person will show up as a heat signature through that building that they can't see through. So
on the other side.
So like the person who from their angle cannot see that person hiding behind the building, through their heads-up display, they will see clear as day that person standing behind that building, because someone else's view could see it.
And what good is that? Can you shoot through the building?
Well, yes and no, but it's what there's so much you could do, because
you just know he's there.
This is like a drop in the bucket, because then you add the eyes of an aerial drone. So that's way more of an observance than a guy who's over at this other angle.
Like, what is this? We're not even going to do this very long.
Instead of having a sight,
it will literally be robots.
Seriously. Instead of having a sight on your weapon, you will see a sight in the heads-up display, and it will just show you in your heads-up display where the bullet will land. It will calculate all the ballistics.
Oh my gosh.
Taking into account the wind, the range, the elevation, the terrain.
So you just literally point your gun until your head says fire.
Until that target, until the crosshairs that are floating around your heads-up display are on that target.
It's a video game. You're playing a video game.
Yes, and I think you're absolutely right.
For this for a long time.
All this technology is going to get integrated into robotics of some kind.
It just can't be people. Like you were saying in the Ukraine war with the drones, and like that the drones can literally find a guy huddled in a ditch, and send a little special delivery right to that ditch and kill that one guy. It's like, you can't put live people out there when it's just not fair for live people to be out there.
Right. Well, and wait.
That will just be so over.
Just wait. Right now, we're taking these like $150 to $250 drones, and they're strapping grenades on them, or more RPG rounds, or different types of explosive, C4 explosive, whatever, mines. It's relatively rudimentary, and they're flying them down even into the trenches. Mm-hmm. But basically, if you're hidden in a trench, it's dark in a trench, it's hard for a drone to like maneuver in there. So if you're tucked around a corner or two, you're safe. But well, here's what I'm saying. Wait until the drone that spots you is just a mothership drone that drops out a drone that's maybe the size of like
so scary.
A muffin. Do you know what I mean? Instead of it being like a 2 foot wide drone, that 2 foot wide drone is carrying 6 muffin drones.
This is on a movie. What movie?
No, I'm just telling. And again, I'm not thinking up anything novel. They're way down the road with this.
Matrix. That happens in the Matrix. Those little, what are they called? That actually get onto the spaceship that they're on, where they're plugged
Sentinels?
in. Yeah.
Those are giant, though.
No, I know.
But yes, yeah.
They get into smaller pieces. They break. There's like a big mother one that shoots out the little things. I've seen this movie.
Well,
and that was a long time ago movie. Okay.
Right. So and I don't know. I know this has probably been a horrible episode because I'm just all over the place, but
that's how we do it.
It's what I want to like emphasize is these massive technological breakthroughs that are both hardware and software AI elements that are both a fight for mineral resources, raw material resources to build these data centers, to build these chips, to build these robotics, drones, robots, new vehicles, etc. We're in a new Cold War, so to speak, as long as it stays Cold War. We're in a new arms race.
We're in a new lukewarm war, I would say. It's not cold.
These Venezuela things and these Greenland things and these AI things are all one thing.
Yeah. The dollar.
Right up to and including
all the things.
The run-ups in gold and silver and the AI.
Everything we talk about culminates in Greenland.
This is all tied together. Yeah. And I'm not trying to sound like, it's not a conspiracy thing. This is just like all of these elements are interconnected, intertwined. And when you start to think of it in that bigger picture, that this isn't about Greenland and like whatever, this isn't about Venezuela and oil, this isn't about gold or silver, it's about all of this and how they're related. And for me, I will say right now, it actually helps me when I see that bigger picture. I see what I think might be what Trump is up to, what the administration is up to, and I would say I am leaning towards getting behind them on it.
Okay.
Very cautiously, but I think I see it,
I wanted to ask your thoughts on Minnesota and the impending conversation around the Insurrection Act. What do you think about that? What do you think about what's going on in Minnesota? Sounds like, well, I said it sounds like chaos, and you said recently it's manufactured chaos, or it's not as bad as they are making it sound, or something along those lines.
Well, just like the little street protest stuff, I don't think it's like
not
that.
As prevalent.
I think part of the media is playing it up, getting the good shots, I mean, I think even Trump is okay with it being played up, in some ways, because it makes the left look bad to the right. Yeah. I don't know. I think we should annex Minnesota. I think we should invade it and take it back.
So you're for the insurrection?
I think we should free the Minnesotans.
It is really interesting, all these things we were talking about as far as ICE goes before on past episodes regarding that we have let it get to a place where we have to have federal agents snatching people up off the street. We should all just be bummed out that that's where we're at. And then it's okay, same with the Insurrection Act. I was kind of learning today a little bit about the founding of the Insurrection Act and like what it was intended for, and its actual use has been almost entirely in like civil rights violation, like social justice deployment of the Insurrection Act, which is kind of interesting that that's like how it has been used. But of course, we just had this run-in at the church with John Lemon. I don't know if it's Lemon or John Lemon.
What are you talking about?
John Lemon, John Lemon, whichever. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The guy that ran in the church or whatever?
Well, he was the CNN anchor that got fired.
Oh, catch me up.
Do you know who John Lemon is?
No.
The black gay CNN anchor.
Don Lemon?
Don. It's not John. I said, I don't know if it's Lemon or Lemon. I've heard it both ways by very different sources.
Okay. He's Don Lemon to me.
Well, yeah, a lot of people call him
Don Lemon. He's
I
Don
said John,
Lemon.
but it is
That's
Don.
what threw me off. I was like, I've never heard of John Lemond.
There's so many black gay CNN anchors to keep track of named Lemon. Anyway, yes, him going into the church and
Don
doing
Lemon,
all the things.
I don't. I still don't know what you're talking about, but I do know who you're talking about.
What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? That he went into the church?
I heard about this, but what happened? Tell me more.
He essentially, like, you know, as the left does sometimes, filmed himself participating, you know, and feels like he's perhaps going to be exonerated from any wrongdoing simply because he's there as a journalist. And yet, of course, none of this would work for January 6ers. Never works the other way. It only works one way. But
if your name is Lemon.
All that to say, he went there to participate in this, and essentially this group got together and stormed this church during church.
Okay.
And chased everybody out of the church, like with bullhorns, and, you know, I mean, it sounds like it was, the kids were screaming and freaking out. You know, it was a scary, intimidating situation, which you're not allowed to do that. There's like a specific law, I forget what it's called off the top of my head right now.
Common decency?
It has nothing to do with the First Amendment. It's like a specific
disturbing the peace?
Face Act.
Oh,
anyway, it is that you cannot, you know, go and disrupt the free, open exercise of religion, whatever.
What did the church do to deserve this or whatever?
Well,
like, why?
Apparently, one of the ICE agents, like, attended church there, potentially, but like was not, in fact, there that day.
Someone tell everyone that the ICE agents shop at Whole Foods. Okay, see what happens.
Well, all that to say, it kind of, I mean, the guy wasn't there. It just ended up looking bad for the protesters. There's, you know, probably going to be federal charges filed against up to and including John/Don Lemon/Lemon. And it's just, you know, furthering this narrative of what's happening in Minnesota and the chaos and unrest and blah, blah, blah. It does not seem to be spreading outside of Minnesota. Is that your perception?
I wouldn't say spreading, but there have been like these protests all over.
Since the beginning, all year long.
Again, I'm nothing that is super impressive. I'm not saying like it's actually, I don't think it's really amounting to anything. But
I'm just having a hard time discerning, like, are we really talking about using the Insurrection Act? Is it really necessary? Is it, you know, like, is it necessary? Is that where we're at?
Well,
What's going on here?
Remember, it's like we have this dynamic where the left behaves like nut jobs that require the federal government to come in and put down this uprising. That's what we're getting to, is where it's becoming a norm for that. What if someday we need to rise up against our leadership?
Right.
And now it's completely normal to bring the federal government in
for sure
to put down that, right?
Well, so did we use the Insurrection Act during Floydapalooza?
Floydapalooza? I honestly
don't think
know.
so.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
And of course, the Insurrection Act was threatened to be used around the, you know, stop the steal after January 6th, blah, 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 because it was clearly now proven he stole an election. And it wasn't even used then. I feel like we're not very trigger happy on the Insurrection Act.
I'm seeing a lot of like pictures and stuff on the internet or posts where in other cities there's people protecting their neighborhood from ICE, and it's like I don't even know if they're like standing in their front yard with an AR-15, but they're like a leftist.
Wow, Kyle Rittenhouse of the left.
Right.
You're not allowed to do that. Hello.
Well, it's just interesting to me because, well, I'm like, is this just a propaganda like
it is weird
photo shoot kind of thing? Because are there even ICE in your neighborhood, or are you just standing in your front yard? I don't know. There might be something going on, but I'm also like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like all for standing in my yard with an AR-15. Do it all the time. Okay. Big proponent of it. Okay. On the other hand, it's
much different reason.
I take it so seriously to stand in my front yard with an AR-15 when the reason why I think I'm there is to stop ICE agents. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. It's one of those, I'm like,
it's complete
make-believe. It's complete make-believe.
Yeah, it's complete make-believe.
When I really think about that, I'm like, how serious my life would have to be.
Yeah, you're not
at that point. Like that's a bridge you just.
Gosh.
Well, here's what I'm saying. If you really mean it, that is a bridge you cross once and you can never go back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you don't. That stuff must just be for a photo shoot of like we're so cool.
Also, like Minnesota, who even remembers about that state, right? It's like there's lots of nice people in Minnesota, but I'm like
obligatory. I'm sure there's nice people.
You keep saying that every time you mention Cuba. You're like, there's nice people in Cuba.
Look, I'm sure
Greenland, you got great people.
Actually, Minnesota, like this is the story of the left and right in the United States. Most of Minnesota is people who live rurally and stuff, except this concentration in the Minneapolis, Twin Cities area.
But it's such a left stronghold for so long that, you forget that, Anyway, so obviously this is where the fraud is taking place. Tim Walz, it's just such a funny, what is happening? What is happening up there? Now there's an investigation has been opened up into Tim and the mayor of Minneapolis and these different, players in Minneapolis or Minnesota. And I'm just trying to figure out what is going to happen? What is going to happen in Minnesota?
Could somebody please hide the Epstein list in a Somali daycare? That would be great.
Why? Because then
maybe we'll
never find it.
No, because we seem to want to go look anywhere but
anywhere but for Somali daycares.
Anywhere but for the Epstein list.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Well, we know where that is. Pam Bondi's got it.
Pam Bondi's
on her desk.
Yeah, that's right.
She said. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought there's a lot going on up there. A lot of different types of things. Now we've got the investigations going on. We're talking about using the Insurrection Act. And I'm like, what? Minnesota? Always coming in hot.
Always coming in hot?
Well, that's where all the riots and stuff started and kicked off.
I've said this before in the past, how I think that, I said this a long time ago, or at least a couple of years, that federal troops should invade California, should remove the state legislature. Every single
wow, look at this.
Elected official should be removed by force if necessary.
Just California.
Well, I would start there. They are the most egregious
we should start
example.
In Minnesota, since all eyes on Minnesota.
No, we should not start in Minnesota. I think California needs to be dealt with more than anything. But I have said, I know it's extremely crazy to most people to say that, but it is. They are
a threat to themselves,
a threat to our existence as a nation. And they have been for a long time, and they
act
continue
like their own
to
country.
do so.
And they have an economy the size of a country.
Yeah, and I mean, I think like what, and that's another thing. Why not focus on California on the ice raids and stuff? Like, I get it. The Somali thing is being dealt with.
Well, that's part of what that's exactly kind of my point is Minnesota? Like, why is Minnesota kicking off? Like, why is that the
Well,
focal point?
definitely the Somali
Yeah,
scandal thing
but
came
this
along
seems to
just
be
in time
irrelevant. It's
to divert us from the Epstein list, the
yeah,
most recent
but
stuff.
they're not connected. It's not connected to now the ice riots. It's like, what? Slurp away,
Got
sweet
my Somali
husband.
slurp going.
It's funny that there was the fraud and then now there's the ice raids and these riots and Tim Walz and blah, blah, blah. It's like, whoa.
I kind of
on up
think
there?
they're just milking that situation, both sides. Two wings, one bird. There's a lot of benefit for Trump and the administration in it.
I don't
There's a
think it
lot
would
of
be advantageous for him to use the Insurrection Act. I think that would
no.
backfire.
I'm talking about just the whole it keeping going. One could argue, oh, they're just up there and they haven't finished their job
Is
yet.
there like a tremendous amount of
I mean, there's enough
illegal immigrants up there? Is that like the hub of where the illegals are going?
Well, and
they're going from Central America to ice Minnesota storms.
that's another element is
Seems
should
weird.
we denaturalize citizens in a community, whether they were guilty or not of direct involvement in,
One bad apple spoils a whole bunch, they say.
what does that mean? Is that a pro deportation denaturalization or a anti deportation denaturalization statement?
You're using a lot of words.
I it bothers me that I look at the fruit, right? So many Somali
apples.
refugees came to an area that they are able to get Ilhan Omar elected.
Yeah, wild.
And she has been the most hateful towards the nation that hosted her of anyone I've ever come across, let alone in a position of authority leading our nation.
Not hateful, entitled,
Yes.
prideful,
So,
arrogant.
Based on that, and then, based on that alone, I think a message needs to be sent. I'll just say this. A message needs to be sent. And if we have to denaturalize and deport a good chunk of them to put...
Well, there has to be like a self-policing. Like you're going to ruin it for everybody?
There has to be a restoration of assimilation.
Sure.
So you come here, we've always been, as Americans, like, in one way, very accommodating, right? We have been a place like no other country where everyone knows America is a place you could go. You know what I mean? You don't think of that as like every other nation on earth does not have that same, nor would you want to. So not only is it an appealing place, but it is a possible place to go to and become an American. You can't do that in most of the world.
Right.
And yes, we have always, in fairness, actually, we have a streak of anti-immigrant as far back as you go. There's always been a group, the last group hates the next group, that hates the next group, that hates the next group. And it's just kind of a part of your probationary period, if you will, into the country.
That's how you're hazed.
It's a haze. It's a cultural hazing, if you will.
Fraternity.
But it's been the same, whether it was the Germans or the Irish or the English or the Dutch or the whatever, or the blacks or the Mexicans or the what. It didn't matter. Everyone has been hated for being the most recent immigrant in America.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we are a nation where it's possible to come and possible to become an American. But the common thread there always is, at the end of the day, you become an American. And
that we stopped doing that.
We have gotten to a point where we're concentrating refugees who are somehow voting, so enough of them are becoming citizens. But
no.
Well, whatever. Some of them are.
Some of them are.
But either way, we're electing Congress people that are Somalis that hate America. Like,
openly that speak another language to their their elected platform.
I'm not for that. I think you should speak English, but that's not why I would denaturalize you and deport you.
Oh, yeah, no.
You know what I mean? It's
just more symptoms.
It's the death to America element, you know what I mean, that tells me, no, you are so far from belonging here. You should not be an elected official. You should not be in our nation. You shouldn't be allowed to visit. Someone who doesn't like our nation like that shouldn't get their passport shouldn't be stamped to come see the Statue of Liberty or Old Faithful Geyser. Like, you shouldn't be allowed here. So I think we should denaturalize and deport a substantial amount. And yes, as an example, to send a message to all immigrant communities of any kind.
When you say denaturalize, are you speaking of people who have come here and become
citizens? Yes.
So they were not born here.
You're not born. You can't take the citizenship away of a natural born American. But if you come here from another country, and you go through the process.
Dual citizenship, that's a BS whole thing.
And don't get me started, because I don't believe in dual citizenship. No. I've said it before on this podcast, but all of my eggs are in this basket. My family sinks or swims, lives or dies by how America does. I don't have another passport to go escape to Israel or Luxembourg or Mexico or whoever else. And if you do have dual citizenship, you are definitively less American than me. That's not an emotional or subjective opinion. You're literally proclaiming to everyone that you're half or less than half or 30%, whatever your heart's, posture is.
Fluid.
Yeah, we don't do nation fluid here.
You're citizen fluid.
We don't do citizen fluid. But yeah, I think denaturalize, deport a substantial portion. We need to send a message for the next 50 and 100 years to every refugee and immigrant that comes here that there is a right way and you will be welcomed, and there is a wrong way and you will be booted.
Well, we just have to think of it more that way. It is, like you said, it is our home. And in the same way that we would never allow for someone who is, coming into our home as a guest, just, maybe even becoming a renter in our home, like a more permanent resident in our home, that is trashing the home, that is speaking ill of the family that owns the home. It's like, no, you'd be gone. It's like, we have to think of this as our home.
Oh no, or calling for the destruction of the landlord.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Are a threat to the home.
Yeah, no, that's not a welcome situation.
And even though we signed a lease, contract uncontracted.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's my.
Okay.
Let's go take Greenland and let's boot the Somalis.
Wow, we're getting real intense. Strong.
Welcome to the Modern Watchman podcast
with Tom and Wendy. Thanks for joining us on the Modern Watchman podcast.
Remember, truth isn't just something we believe, it's something we live out every day.
Stay alert, stay discerning, and don't lose sight of the hope we have in Christ.
Until next time,
be watchmen.